Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, happy Thursday, happy Friday. There's no such thing. It's only have a great weekend. Thanks. Good God.
All right, great to see everyone.
The Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast.
Is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days.
Hosted by a group of best friends. If you'd like to find out more, visit nerdchatmedia.com.
This is Cortana. And remember, don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it. As always, Spartans, see you online.
Oh, hello. Daddy Diwali here. And welcome to the Nerd Chat. Can you let me get through the intro and then we'll get to bacon here? Good God. I don't even know what to say. Just take over. Just take over, Jose. Just give it to bacon.
I
Bacon.
can't
Talk about what you
hear
got, bud.
because I got my headphone. So it's difficult. So I just got to read body language. But I got something cool, and my wife thinks I'm a huge dork. But I don't care what she thinks because this is cool. I'm sorry, this is cool.
Can you tell the audience what you're talking about, bacon?
Oh, it's the Mass Effect Legendary Edition collectors. Came with the Steelbook, this super sweet helmet. I haven't put batteries in it yet to make the visor light up, but I didn't get the FemShep one like you did, though. All I got was the Normandy.
Are you sure?
I think Luke's holding out on me because
It's probably in there.
it costs $93 to ship this thing from the East Coast, just so you know.
Goodness.
But it's worth every red cent.
Worth every penny, bacon.
I
Looks
paid
great.
12 to send the collector's edition to Matthew Kennedy.
I mean, it's a big box, but I'm pretty stoked. So
That when Luke was talking about that on XCP, I wasn't surprised. I was like, "What were you expecting? It's a huge box.
It is
It's
a
not
huge
exactly
box.
light. Like, yeah."
but my wife
Guys-
made me put it on and took pictures of me, and she said, "You're a super dork."
Okay,
bro."
She took pictures.
Bacon. I'm gonna go 7
Yeah, 7. There you go.
this
There you
way.
go. Yep.
And that means you can talk in your helmet. Oh, hello. Let's start over. Daddy Diwali here, and welcome to the Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. Joining me, as always, is Halo on PlayStation is imminent. Chipotle Bear, how are you?
In all seriousness, I am incredibly sick right now. I'm all hopped up on
shit.
cold medicine. So as soon as we finish this, I'm going to export the show and go to bed. But I'm doing great, man. It's been a great week of gaming before I got sick. Excited to talk about that and happy to be here. Happy Thursday, everyone. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Luke, good to see you. Todd, Silkin it, Dave, Nissa, and of course, good old Eric with his chunky cat. Good to see you, buddy.
Bubble Boy and 7. Praise be to Winnie. Why don't you fill in people on that name?
Yeah, we the Winix, I believe, is the machine that essentially keeps all of Dan's coworkers alive. And I decided we would name her Winnie. Her, him, it doesn't matter. Or it does matter. Sorry. And it hit me. There she
There
is.
she is in all her glory.
Winnie needs a
Winnie-
raise.
Winnie is my air filter that goes red whenever it senses my heinous gas in the office. And as you can see in this picture, we had a special guest come by the office. The superintendent of the district was here, and this thing was working overtime because Eric, I ate like 4 bowls of Cap'n Crunch with milk, and of course, just heinous all day, Bubble Boy. So sorry. Anything else you have to say there?
Yeah, no, just that it was probably one of the worst goddamn weeks of work I've had in many, many years. And it reminded me that Winnie deserves a raise, and Winnie works harder than, I don't know, at least half of the other people in Aurora Public Schools. So go team.
Shout out Winnie and Eric's Bacon Gaming.
I have my headphones on, Dan. I can hear.
It was a proper launch. Let's hear
a
your
paper
shepherd
launch.
voice. Oh, a paper launch.
Yes, that's what happens when the GPU manufacturers hype up stuff, and then they only send out less than 400 units for the entire United States for a product.
Pro Strap Bacon. Head over to what's that New York Beach camera? Is that the one I'm thinking of? No. Wherever I got my GPU, I'll keep an eye out for you, Bacon. That's where you sign up for the email alerts. Maybe you'll get it. But I did see on YouTube somebody streaming like where it was in stock and whatnot. So
yeah, We'll get in stock alerts. I want to go through Newegg because I'm getting that crazy good trade in. So
That is a good trade-in value, by the way.
Yeah.
frustrating.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Todd Oxtra Bake. By the way, are you guys hearing this cricket?
Yes.
Who is that?
What is it? I don't know. I hear it though.
Somebody's mic is giving us a cricket noise. Somebody, tell me when you're mute. Who just muted? Bacon, come back on. Jose, stay muted.
I'm back on.
Now you mute. Jose, come back on. It's
It's Jose.
Jose, I don't know what's going on with your Walmart PC over there, but we got to figure this out. Or your microphones. It sounds like a cricket.
Maybe if you showed up on time, I could have tested it beforehand.
What you need me to test it? Okay, you hear this, guys? You hear this blame? Shout out to Jam Pack Sam. Jam Pack Sam, we've been watching your content.
Yeah.
Sam, by the way, you tweeted out or z'd out or threaded out. I can't remember. I can't keep
Skeeted.
up anymore. Whatever. He said something about he wants to make a video on how hard it is to make content creators to make content and how time consuming it is, even if you have a small channel. I completely agree. Like, it's insane, man. Like, you do it on a whole nother level. And then just us with our shorts with Jose, I was telling these guys, it takes me like a half an hour just to post something to all the social media threads. It's crazy. So shout out to Jam Pack Sam. Please make that video. I am 100% right there with you, dude. It takes so much time and effort to do even the simplest things. Like, I mean, for God's sakes, Jose can't figure out his mic. Every week this happens. So shout out also to Eric. Eric, I am wearing my sleeveless shirt. It's almost summer season, and I've got 10 pounds to lose, Eric. The abs are
still.
gone. The abs are gone. You got to start now, Jose. Like, if I showed you my belly, it's just disgusting. So, got a long ways to go. Go ahead, Bubble. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say, there goes our 500.
We're banking on Dan's abs.
Oh, they're gone. Jose, let's jump into Nerd Chat shoutouts. Wow. Our PlayStation has no game short. Popping off. I've already addressed the haters, so Jose, we don't need to go over all of those. They're all just in denial over there, calling out third party, second party, no true first party exclusives. So we don't need to talk about. PlayStation has no games. They only brag about playing Xbox games now. Bacon, what does PlayStation have?
No game?
Xbox games.
I'm muted, so they
muted
don't have
still?
any games.
No games. Thank you. Shout out. Speaking of no games, Zenkai Goose. He slid this in hot, you guys, right before the show on our Twitter account. He's the only one who follows us, so I appreciate the comment. Question for the show. How long until we get a Game Pass app on PlayStation or Switch? I promptly responded as soon as PlayStation cancels another first-party game. But Bacon, I'm going to throw it over to you. What do you think? Are we? I don't think we're ever going to see it. Are we?
We would never see it in the iteration that it is because of so much third party when Sony and Steam want to sell those same third party games on their own platforms. But as far as a curated Xbox only version of Game Pass, I could see because I'm sure Sony would want that recurring revenue, 30% recurring revenue. I just don't know if Xbox. I mean, I'm pretty sure Xbox would be all about it, but like you can't put Dead Island on another, platform for $20 a month. It's just not. They won't make
Bubba,
their money. So
Any thoughts on this?
Sorry, we're having a bedtime stuffy emergency right
All
here.
right. I'll
I
throw it
know,
over to
I know,
Jose.
sorry.
Jose, I'm on the. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. They're already giving them the games, and it's just coming years later, months later. Like, what's the point of having Game Pass if you're gonna sell the games for much more money over there?
I mean, here, let me put it this way. A year ago, we thought it was insane to have Xbox games on PlayStation, and now they're just
Did we?
yeah. I mean, because people just thought like when you talk about the main players, it's not going to happen, and it is happening. So I actually think this is more likely than we think. I don't think it's imminent, for the record. Like, I think we're talking years down the road. But let me phrase it this way, and I mean this in a kind way. I'm not trying to like goad people here. So let's just pretend that because of all the switch ups, because of the cancellations we talked about on last show and stuff, let's say it takes a couple years for PlayStation really to get their feet back under the ground, especially with
Jose, who's
leadership
bailing
changes.
them out right now?
We are, but I'm saying, let's say that they get to that point and they're like, look, we instead of just like picking game by game, what would it take to get Game Pass on there? I think Xbox is open to it. For the record, I think the holdout here is Sony, and same with Switch. But I think that's the other piece with the Switch, with the triggers maybe and the mouse things. It could come more imminently than you think.
What the hell was that, Jose, behind you?
My child, what do you mean?
It was a
Ghost.
ghost spawn or something.
Ghost.
Yeah, I think it's more. I would say in less than
What the?
5 years.
I think Game Positive has the right answer here. Shout out to Eric bringing in the based facts as always. Eric said when Xbox stops making consoles, Game Pass will go to PlayStation. Jose, I think he's absolutely right. Jose,
He's absolutely right.
yeah. I mean, at this point, Game Pass is the differentiator. We all of us enjoy Game Pass. We're eating good. Bacon's already beaten Ninja Gaiden 2. We're going to be
I'm a
getting
gamer.
all 4 of these games day one on Game Pass while everybody else is paying $80 probably at that point, 90, 70, whatever, who cares? And that's the incentive. If you want to play these games day one and not have to pay $500 every year, you play on Game Pass or you play on your Xbox. And then if you're on PlayStation or Switch, I'm thinking about this, guys, and we'll get into it in a second here with Forza Horizon. They better charge $70. I don't want to see any discounted games on PlayStation. You charge the full amount if they're going to be porting them over. Not this, it's 4 years old, $50 for Forza Horizon 5. No, this better be a $70 game. And I don't even know. I don't know if can someone. I guess I could bring up my PlayStation app and tell me how much that is. But you charge the full price, and then we were talking about this in our little chat, like Logan was saying. You drip feed them the first party exclusives, and maybe that will bring people over. Maybe not, but either way, it's helping fund Xbox games. So I'm with Eric. I think when Xbox is completely out of the hardware game, that's when you would see a Game Pass app on PlayStation or Switch.
I disagree. I don't think they're going to get out of the hardware game.
Nope.
Well, then I don't think there's ever going to be a Game Pass app on
That's
PlayStation
fine.
or Switch. I think they're going to keep selling it. Shout out to Captain Logan Ahoy, mate. Speaking of captains, Logan, I've been playing Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. I am sailing the seas. I just took out all 4 legendary ships again. My gosh. Guys, that one where you have to fight the two of them at the same time. Oh, what a pain in the butt.
That's a tough one.
That one was, anyway, God, what a game. I can't wait to replay that. Just keep going with our shout outs in response to last week's episodes. Mr. Badbit1419, what a terrible name. Nice little glass house, y'all, but y'all built. But when is Xbox podcast going to go without talking about or bringing up PlayStation? I counted 15 episodes in the past year of yours that has Sony as part of the main topic. Just thought this is an Xbox podcast. Is all. Joe, PlayStation has no games. They only brag about playing Xbox games now. Actually, shout out to Joe and Lightweight and Kyle.
were
For real,
very
they did a
fair.
good job on their
Yes,
episode,
they were
and
very
they were
fair
calling
last night.
PlayStation out for their blunders.
Yes.
And they're also going to be playing Xbox games, and I can't wait for the haptics.
I was just going to do that. Dan.
What
I
about
can't
the
wait for
hard hard triggers? Can you imagine
Gears of
Halo
War, it's
with the
gonna be
haptics and the
great.
triggers? Oh my! Forza Horizon 5, we're gonna feel every bump and crick in the road.
God, you guys.
God. Moving on, Mario.
blowing it
Hold
my
on, hold
controller.
on. I got to address this because I finally figured out I think what's going on, and it helped me that Dan is now a Chiefs super fan. And
I am
what's-
not. No. Take that back.
Dan's
I
a
am
money
not.
fan. super fan.
Exactly. I'm a
He's
fan.
of
I'm a
money.
smart betting man.
Okay,
My first
so-
and only bet. 3K is coming my way. Oh, we got to get to that poor big. Oh my god.
Yeah, Todd and most of us are mandatory reporters, so he's screwed. Here's what's happening. The way everybody says me and Court and all Chiefs fans are the worst.
You guys are the worst.
It's
You guys are
because
terrible.
You guys are
we
the worst.
spent so long having nothing to be excited about as a Chiefs fan in
Yeah,
Kansas
Joe
City.
Montana.
Why?
And it
Why
was
aren't?
listen,
Why
as a
aren't
Chiefs
Bills
fan
fans
in,
that bad?
as a Chiefs fan in Kansas City. Some Bills fans are that bad. You don't hang out with them. You hang out with me in Court and you get all our texts. The exact same thing that you're doing with Xbox and PlayStation, now that Xbox is on the top of the mountain, it's just dump on PlayStation, dump on PlayStation, dump on PlayStation. I have to imagine Joe feels about you the way you guys all feel about me right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I think it's
I
like
can
a
see that.
great
He's-
analogy.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm going off on PlayStation and saying this every week, even though I have my
Sure, 'cause they were being-
because
yeah,
they
but
were a-holes to us for the past decade.
Exactly. And you all, as Donkey fans, forget how awful you treated Chiefs fans
That's
for
fair.
30 years.
That's fair.
Right?
I was
So-
never mean to you guys, except for when we won in 2016. And that was after we got destroyed.
Never,
That was after
except
we got
for-
destroyed by the Seahawks. Let's relax.
But I
That
think
was
it's
not
We've been having to deal with this for now 10 years.
I know. And
Anyway, we got to move on. We got to move on. Enough Chiefs talk. I'm tired of this. Mariana Pampa, in response to our last show, boys, I can't agree more with you when it comes to having a gaming wife. I keep falling in love with these women on Twitch that play Halo at a high competitive level. Carry me! Oh, Pomps. I was actually talking to Ali about this today. We were so sad for you, Pomps. I hope you find your gaming waifu.
They're not easy to find, bro.
They're impossible. They're unicorns. A freight conductor, by the way, base Daddy Diwali call out right here. Daddy Diwali is correct on the stop motion. I was watching Aztec Cross stream when the developer direct, and he kept asking why South of Midnight was being shown with a clear frame rate issues. It wasn't until halfway through it being shown that he noticed that his chat was trying to tell him that it was intentional. How many people caught that point and just didn't run with the performance issues narrative? And he even, and
Timestamped
Freight Conductor even timestamped it. Based Freight Conductor, shout out. I'm telling you guys, I don't think this helps South of Midnight's case, except for Kyle. Kyle was very high on South of Midnight. Kyle, guess what? You'll probably play on your PlayStation in 6 months. Am I right, Bacon? Whatever.
No, permanent exclusive, sir.
No, that's not.
That's not gonna happen.
No, nothing is anymore. And last shout out. Shout out to Dreadmon719. Hello. I'm curious on your opinions. What controllers are you all using and what would you recommend? I've been looking for an upgrade over at my very old Xbox One controller. The internet has been pointing me towards the KK3 Max or the Vader 4 Pro. Anyone have experience with either of those or recommendations for something you're in love with? Great episode as always. Cheers. Shout out to Dreadmond. I think I wrote in the chat back to him, Jose. I said that I'm a big fan. I still think Elite is still the GOAT. I'm sorry. I still keep coming back to it. I think Scuff is number 2 for me. By the way, Dreadman, right now on Target, the white core is on sale for $99, and you might have like a 20%. You might have a 20% if you're a part of Target Circle. Just join it, and then that I'm actually thinking about buying another one for $78, like after taxes. Steal, and then you can buy cheap paddles on Amazon
Well, I
for
was
like
just gonna
$5.
say because that's D Redmond. I kind of like.
Oh, sorry.
I like Dreadmond. I'm gonna start
Yeah,
calling him
sorry.
that. That's pretty awesome. He's teacher at Gateway.
Oh, okay.
I have extra paddles for you, Dave. If you want the extra paddles, so
Go to
that's a
Target. It's on sale
pretty
till
sweet
tomorrow.
Deal if you're wanting to save some money here. So update on that because he wrote it the other day and he was in my office today.
Shout out to Dave. He's live in the chat.
Yep. He might be going with the Envision Pro, the Scuff Envision Pro. So,
The PC one? No,
okay,
don't.
tell him why.
Dave,
Right,
I
right.
had
What
it. I sent it back. It's not good. Do not.
Mine-
Whatever you do, I'd rather you get.
Mine
I'd
never
rather you get
connected.
this crappy PlayStation Instinct Pro. This is the better controller of the two. The Envision has really good paddles. I will give it that. But everything and the clicky buttons, right, Bacon, and the
Yes.
trigger locks. But it's not the software is terrible. The
Yeah,
adjustable
software is
buttons are terrible. The shoulder. I hated the Sax buttons. What they called it.
I love those.
If you like Xbox ergonomics or offset, get the Instinct Pro. But if you prefer the
He loved
parallel,
the Wolverine.
Yes,
Anyway.
the Wolverine.
you see this
Wolverine is
DualSense.
tempting.
You guys see
Not
this
gonna lie.
DualSense?
Wolverine is the best
Oh!
controller. Ooh, that sounded bad.
Whatever. I don't need it.
The Wolverine is the goat.
This is where it's at. That's what he enjoyed the most. He got to handle that one and my Halo edition. Yeah, Dave. Honestly, I
Dave,
didn't realize that. 'Cause If
96
you want to
bucks.
save some cash
That's
too,
a
and
good-
If you're
price.
probably a Target Circle member, 20% off right here. If you can get this for $78, this is a no-brainer. But let's be real, guys. Where the heck is the Elite Series 3? What are they
Amen.
waiting for? They've got to be They've got to be waiting for the next console or what is going
I don't know
on?
if I can wait 2 years, dude.
I
Like,
know.
I need something.
Just get a
That's why I'm
Wolverine,
gonna buy.
bro.
I'm
I
actually
think the
going to do that
Wolverine
at
is where I'm
Target
gonna
right
go.
now.
Just get a
I know.
Wolverine. You will thank us later.
I know what they're doing.
What are they doing, Bubble Boy?
Strategery.
Guys, guess what I forgot to do again?
Timestamps.
This, dang it.
Dang it.
Nissa, you're supposed to tell us about the timestamps.
1945, the George Bush strategery comes out.
Nice, Ains.
PlayStation has no games. You're right. Oh yeah,
Actually, he
PlayStation
wrote
has
has.
games, but he means they have
They have
Xbox.
They don't have their
games.
own
Correct.
games.
correct.
Yes,
correct.
yes, yes.
Last shout out, and this breaks my heart. Last shout out, guys.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Big Box 1431 wrote in. Do you guys ever watch the WWF and see
Actually,
that
yeah, loved it.
Triple H is the guest referee for Shawn Michaels' match against Bret Hart and think, wait a second. Something doesn't seem right about this. It's funny how often I think about that when the Cheats are playing the Bills in the playoffs. Forget it. Forget it, Broncos country. It's Chinatown. Big Box, I'm sorry. Your team is cursed. I am
It's official. They are cursed.
I am truly sorry. And what the worst part is, Big Box, is I knew going into the game, I was like, they're not going to win. And I remember my coworker Trish. She's like, "Oh, I'm actually scared. I think they're going to." No,
Joe.
I was never.
Trish, shout out Trish. She's saying.
I never thought they were going to lose. I feel so bad for Josh. At this point, it's out of control, and I'm so sorry, Big Box. I have nothing to say. Jose, anything nice to say to Big Box? I don't.
There's always next year, bud. That's what Dan gets permanently tattooed on his arm right there for the Broncos. So, yeah.
Oh no, I'm not delusionally Big Box. Bacon, closing thoughts on Big Box, the Bills, the
We
horrible
were all in your
NFL
corner,
Super
Big
Bowl,
Bucks. I was in your corner.
the nation.
There's nothing I wanted to see more than old Kermit going home angry, but
Yeah, we went out there today and threw a good ball.
we really showed them what we're doing.
You can't, this
A couple
team.
calls
got
went
so
our
much
way.
heart.
I don't know what happened. That was a first down.
Then
I
I had to
swear.
run over that guy in the end zone. I'm not.
He
I'm not
caught
letting
that
us
ball
lose.
We
and
are
didn't
an
touch the
Xbox
ground. He
podcast.
caught it. Yeah. Okay. Joe really wants us to talk about Xbox.
Jose, let's jump into Xbox news for the week.
News team, assemble!
News story number one. Speaking of Xbox, we're actually going to start talking about PlayStation. News story number one. PlayStation is finally getting a good Horizon game.
I liked Horizon. So.
A Forza Horizon game, that is. This
see what you did
spring, Forza Horizon 5, the Horizon Festival is coming to the Sony PlayStation 5. Start your adventure with crossplay on all platforms. You can wishlist it right now on your PlayStation 5, you PS fanboys. Guys, what was your initial reaction to this? I got to start it out with Bacon on this one. Bacon, remember, I did suggest us drafting this. And they said no, so that would have been an easy 10 out of 10 points for
No, I
us.
thought
but
you
that
couldn't
sucks.
because it had already been released.
Yes, we can't.
Yeah,
I know.
that's
Go
what you
ahead,
mean.
Bacon.
Gotcha.
Bacon, what was your reaction to this?
Well, my initial reaction is I'm a fan and anti-exclusivity in all matters, so I am absolutely excited. I can't wait to shit on a bunch of PlayStation players who think they can race because they've been playing that crappy Gran Turismo their whole lives. Now they get to experience what a real
Different
arcade
game.
racer is.
Gran Turismo was so good.
I'm trying to get Joe riled up in the chat. So, I'm super happy. It's going to sell like hotcakes. It's going to, because if you guys haven't noticed, Xbox is all over Sony's monthly sell charts. Like none of Sony's properties are there, but a lot of Xbox properties are. And so this is another Xbox property that's going to dominate. I also saw that Sea of Thieves has surpassed Astrobot on PlayStation as well.
Did it really?
Yeah,
Dang.
they just keep
need-
falling like
should.
dominoes. So I am really happy. It is a fantastic game. There are some challenges in it that are really super hard, but everybody should play it, and
Yep.
I'm glad it has crossplay.
Go ahead, Bubble Boy.
I'm
thoughts
so
on it?
I'm so excited. I think it's awesome. It was a fantastic next pick. I don't want them to charge full price because I
do.
want more people to be able to play it. I'm not gonna sit here and
75.
care and say they need to pay extra
Charge
or
them more.
pay. Yeah, sure, that tax, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I hate the divisive state of our country right now, and I'd like
Thank you.
to see some
Kumbaya.
olive branches extended. And I think Microsoft and Xbox can be the bigger company and say, hey, here it is for 40, here it is for 30.
Dan hates when Xbox is the bigger company.
True.
And I
They've been the
mean that-
bigger company for the past 24
you know what I-
years.
You know what I mean? Like the bigger man, the bigger, like that's what I mean. Not,
Oh, he
not
knows.
The bully,
That's-
they're a
he
bigger
hates that.
company. And I'm just really excited. I also, one question to the group and the chat, raise your hand or hit us up if you got the chicken dinner achievement in Horizon 5.
I asked Eric if he would sign on and get it for me.
So just me?
Think about how hard that is going to be now. With
Just me?
I know. No, actually, that would be better because they're all going to be noobs. I got it. Okay,
Dude,
Eric, I got to
actually,
sign in.
Dan-
I
yeah.
got to
That's a
sign
good
in
idea.
day
Just jump
one
in.
and go
Yep.
straight to the eliminator.
That is
Crossplay
not a
on.
bad idea.
Eric,
damn it, what did I
please
just
win it
do?
for me. By the way, boys, I'm on the PS app right now. It is not listed. It just says announced, add wishlist, no price yet.
Yeah, well, whatever it
No
costs, pay
price
it.
yet.
If
The
you're a
price for
PlayStation only,
Spider-Man just came out as it launched on PC this morning.
which was
what is the price?
Oh,
It's 60
Jetpack Sam said he got it. Gosh dang it. I can't.
Atta
get it.
boy.
To be
Yep.
fair, I only spent like, 2 races. I'm like, I'm not doing this crap. It takes too long and it's too
Just tell
random.
the fans what it is in case they don't know what the achievement is.
It's
Battle
you're
Royale.
you're the last person standing. The hard part is, guys, is like you just getting to the end, and then there's like 15 people, and it's just who can get to the last point at the very end. It's impossible.
And it's not
truly,
even that. It's who's the closest. So if you think of the circle, if you're over here and the point's over here, you win basically.
Right.
If you're down here on the circle and it's up here, you have
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
no chance of winning because everybody has a fantastic
or
like
exactly, or if somebody has way better cars to you at that point. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so ridiculous, guys. Good luck with that. I gave
It's
up.
fun.
I will admit it was not skill or talent that helped me earn it. It was some luck, but hey, I gotta get them where I can take them. So I have it. He doesn't.
That's the Chiefs mentality right there.
I'm gonna have
See,
to
there it
download
is. Exactly. There it is, guys. By the way, I'm looking at the announcement here on the Forza Horizon, Forza.net site. And I got to say, one of the pictures has the new Golf R in the background. I'm just saying, as a Golf R owner, I'm pretty pumped to see it right there. Shout out to VW. Jose, closing thoughts on Forza Horizon coming over to PS5. Almost 4 years later, by the way.
I'm
3
actually
and a
just
half.
as jazzed as Bacon and Chance are, and I actually agree with Chance. I agree that if it was a new release, it should be full price because like that's what we're experiencing with like Spider-Man and stuff. But it is an old game, and honestly, at this point, I'm just glad more people get to like it and enjoy it because I do think for many years it gets kind of taken the back seat unless you've played it and know how much awesome it is. So I think it's great, dude. Like, in all seriousness, go play Horizon. It's a ton of fun. Like, and not just the Eliminator. There's so much to
It's
do.
just a
So
great
many
game.
cars. If you want a sweet N7 skin, you'll get more coins for Chance because he makes one
Yeah,
every game and
yeah.
he just makes bank on it. But it's awesome, man. So go play for Forza. And if you don't have a PlayStation, you never played on Xbox, go play it there too. It's also a great game there too.
Yep. Shout out to Game Positive. Game Positive, I actually did see this, Eric. Lost in the cycle, but Xbox contracted Panic Button to do the PS5 port, so Playground doesn't have much to do with it. I did see that.
Oh.
That is good news. I mean, they've got to figure
I mean,
out Fable.
yeah,
Let's
that's what I
be
was
real.
gonna say. They got their hands.
And the next Forza Horizon. And speaking of Forza Horizon, Todd said, did Xbox extend the licenses so the game lives? They must have, right, Todd? Or maybe it has to do with it being released on another platform. Maybe I don't know
Well,
what
they
the
just
legality is.
delisted 4, and that was super old. So I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
there's
true.
life left.
But
for
they
this.
do that for every Forza Horizon. That's why I always buy it right before, and like I have all of them digitally. So shout out to Forza Horizon though. For real, I'm so happy that more people are going to be playing this. 30 million players already on Xbox and PC. It's an incredible game, and PlayStation fans are finally going to be like, I've been missing this for decades now. Like
Yeah.
this is I don't ever want to hear that Xbox doesn't have good games because Playground Games does not miss. This is an incredible game, and if you can't find something fun in this, you just don't like gaming. Am I right, Bubble Boy?
100% true.
We are talking about Xbox, Joe. This is a first-party game. Somebody put Joe on. Nessa, put Joe on a 5-minute timeout in the chat. Bacon,
I will
closing thoughts.
admit the best part of this announcement day has been the fanboy copium fallout and the apparently smashed Xbox Series X's that are 2 years old. So it's been a lot of fun, and I normally soak up PlayStation tears, but I'm actually soaking up Xbox tears today, and it's been great.
Thank you, Nessa.
A bunch of crying.
Gentle Stones, I love Forza Horizon 5, Forza Horizon 4 Ultimate Edition boards delisted. Yes, I recommend that, guys. Buy them whenever, because they're usually like $10. Do it. Also great for kids. If any of you guys have
Oh,
younger kids, start
absolutely.
families, great game for kids.
Absolutely.
Jose, let's move on to news story number 2 here. I almost forgot the timestamp yet again.
But you caught yourself.
Making his rounds on the interviews, and I don't know how we want to address all of the Phil Spencer interviews recently with shout out to Gamertag Radio, shout out to Destin. I think Destin did a great job. How Destin got Phil Spencer. I mean, Phil must really like Destin Licker to give him an interview like that. But a lot was said. I felt like a lot wasn't really said. I feel like everything Phil has been saying, he's been saying for years now. But having said that, I really liked what one of my favorite developers, or maybe I shouldn't say favorite developers. He made one of my favorite games in Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori Will and the Wisps. I still haven't gotten to No Rest for the Wicked, but Thomas Mahler quote tweeted Shinobi's tweet on the interview with Gamertag Radio and Phil Spencer. And I have to say, I just really appreciate his thoughts here. And I saw Zenkai comment on this and a bunch of other people in our circles comment on this interview. But he said this on his tweet. And it's a little long, but just let me get through it because I think he brings up some really good points. I know some people always want me to join the console warring, but I strongly believe that Phil Spencer has the right approach. We decided a few years back not to make No Rest for the Wicked under Microsoft because back then we couldn't have shipped it for PlayStation and Switch, and since we knew how important multiplayer and crossplayer would be, we decided to partner with Take-Two instead. In my emails to Phil over the years, I always brought up how crazy it would have been if you could have only watched certain DVDs on Sony players, while others you would have needed a Samsung player, etc. I think we can all agree that this would have been nutty for films, so why are games any different? Xbox Series X and PS5 are basically contain the same hardware nowadays, so porting from one platform to another isn't that big of a deal anymore. Their controllers are mostly the same. The Steam boxes
Disagree.
will also be the same. Not supporting these devices makes no sense since you can just cut out a huge chunk of your potential audience. Consoles have been stuck attracting the same 100 to 150 million players for over 2 decades now. If we want to see the industry grow, it needs to be easier for everyone to access the content. Right now, the price of entry is still too high with people needing to buy a $500 box just to get their game on. You'd ultimately want everyone with a screen and a controller to be able to play all games in order to finally break through that barrier and make games available to everyone. I'd be surprised if Sony won't end up with the same strategy. People should buy the device they like the most, but they should then have access to all the content. And yes, Nintendo will keep doing their own thing because Nintendo is Nintendo, and that's okay. Rooting for one huge corporation to sell more boxes over another strikes me as fantastically senseless. We should all just share in the love for video games. Bacon, I see you nodding your head over there. You're also a big fan of Ori, and you've actually put a lot of time into No Rest. What did you think of these comments? And in general, what stood out to you from the interview from Phil?
Oh, Phil's been saying the same stuff he's been saying for years. We all knew it was going to be 4 games, and they're still going to be in the hardware. They will be because they still want that 30% cut on Roblox and everything else and microtransactions from everything. The hardware is not the issue. I've been saying this for years that exclusivity is absolutely stupid and that the vast majority of the casuals have no idea about any of this and they don't care. PlayStation guys the casuals are going to see Forza Horizon on there and they're just going to buy it and they're not going to care that it's a Sony property or an Xbox property. And they're right. It's been the same group of console players since I was on my first console in the 80s. It's the same group of people, and we're dying because we got gray beards and we're getting old and we have health problems. It's refreshing to see someone important in the industry finally call it out. And we all know there's absolutely no way Sony would take their games to freaking PC if they didn't need the money and more players. We all think it's just sunshine and puppy dogs over in PlayStation land, and it's clearly Clearly not. And so that's how they do it. Will they ever bring their games to Xbox? I probably not. I don't know. Maybe their multiplayer games will
Yeah,
bring
maybe
to Xbox.
second party games.
Right. So it's super important that all games go everywhere. That's how games survive, and that's how franchises survive. I mean, look
That's how
at
studios and jobs
right, and
survive.
look at Vanguard or Veilguard. Veilguard, I found was a great game. There was one sticking point in it that I had a problem with, but other than that, it was a fantastic game. But you know, the outrage culture has completely killed that game, and that studio can shut down. It's pretty frustrating at this point. So I don't know how long it's going to take Sony to finally get on board with the times and finally just embrace cross-platform, because we all have our choice, our favorite controller. We all have our favorite ecosystem. And finally, so I don't remember who it was said the other day that, I think it was Joe on the trophy room, or maybe it was Light, that said, PC dudes just aren't going to come to console, guys. It's just a stupid thing to think that a PC player that's spending almost $3,000 on a graphics card is also going to buy a PS5 Pro to play a game. It's just silly. So they're finally starting to figure this out after so many years. So
Yeah, I agree. Light did say that, by the way.
yeah, it was Light.
I was just listening. Shout out to Joe. I was listening to you guys just not too long ago while I was eating Burger King again. Now I'm thinking about Burger King. I forgot my point that I was trying to make. Jose, what stood out to you from these interviews? And just did you get a chance to listen to them? But by the way, did any of you guys actually listen to the interviews? Because I listened to both. Okay, I was the
did.
only one. All right.
No, I did. I'm sorry. I had a small child in my periphery over here. I listened to Danny and Paris's in one. That's the one. Shout out to their content. I've really liked their content recently, and shout out specifically to Paris. A couple of posts where he's just like, you know what? I'm sick of this. Like Big Bacon said, just everyone wants to hate, and it like shuts things down. He's like, if you don't like my stuff, then like, why do you follow me? Like, I just think that's good mentality. Two thoughts on this. So my favorite part was the part that a lot of content creators have latched onto, was the whole point where a lot of people tried to ask Phil, like corner him basically into like, what about this game? What about this game? You're going to put all these? And he was like, look, I'm going to just say that right now in front of everyone. There is no game, no IP, nothing that we have that we're going to put a fence around. Basically what he said, without saying it in my mind, is that anything we make now or in the past, if the system that we wants it and they're willing to work with us, we would put it there. And that leads to why I put my little tagline. I think Halo's coming real quick. I think it would be sweet to launch with like the Switch. It's on the Switch. It's on the PlayStation. And again, Halo legitimately means so much to me, so much to all of us here on this podcast, everybody in the chat, all of our friends. Halo brings us together, right? Even Joe, as much as he just loves to rile things up, that's literally his job. Joe is a huge Halo fan. He literally wrote in our chat, like, as soon as it's there, let me know. Let's all jump in together.
I can't wait to pull the trigger on my AR, even though I said it was a UMSC and it's UNSC, but don't worry about it, guys. I love Halo and my haptics and the vibrations and can you imagine the tension and the trigger to the sniper rifle and the shotguns? Can you imagine sniper shotty? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I just think I think it's a beautiful thing. And honestly, I do want to take a moment and give props to Bacon, because very, very recently, it truly, even if you look back at our old episodes, Bacon is the reason why all the rest of us got into PC gaming. And he really was the one who pushed us into like being
I don't know if it
agnostic about
was
our
just
systems.
Bacon.
No, it wasn't just Bacon, but I'm saying like when we
I'll tell you
started
my
the show,
main reasons.
well, hang on. When we started this show, Dan, and we brought Chance in and Iterations, we were console gamers, only console gamers, right? And to some degree, I think like we'll never go PC. It's too complicated for us. We're basically where Luke was about 2 months ago, right? The reality is like we love this place, man. And the last two things I'll say, two fun things. I think when I was a kid, right, and I remember going through those eras of like the PlayStation 2 era, the PlayStation 3 era, where like you legitimately had to choose which system you were going to pick based on games. And that was hard because you'd have friends that were in different genres, and especially as like multiplayer became a thing. What a divisive time that we lived in, and what a beautiful thing now that we're in a time where it's like it's really not becoming about the box. You can still buy them and play the one that you like for aesthetics or the controller or the performance or whatever it is, but it's about the games. And I think that's a really cool thing. The other thing I just want to quickly shout out, I just love that Phil puts different stuff on his shelves. Like that is the true embodiment of like when we were kids and like Saturday, I got nothing to do. So what am I doing? I'm going to rearrange my room so it looks cool. No one's going to see it. except for maybe Chance when he spends the night. Literally, I'm going to spend hours doing it. That's what Phil does. I just love that he does that as a grown ass man. Just want to throw that out. Those are my thoughts.
Shout out to the chat. We've got a lot of great comments on here. I wanted to read some of them. I think it was Gentle Stone. All games on all platforms. Gaming democracy at work. And go check out the Nerd Chat Halo celebration episode. We did a Nerd Chat Halo celebration?
Yeah, with Infinite.
What?
With Infinite.
With Game of the Year one? That's the only one I can think of. Anyway, shout out to Eric for shouting us out. And then I like Todd has a great point here before I throw it over to Chance. So glad that Phil was finally crystal clear. The vague discussions the last previous years cause churn and frustration. The biggest company in the world doesn't really want to fight over 200 million console gamers. He wants 200 million gamers to have a chance to buy his game. Yeah, and he did talk about some of that with like his legacy. I don't know if you guys didn't watch the Destin one. Go watch the Destin one. It's really good. Bacon, are you anti-Destin too because he was at IGN or something? I can't
No, I'm just anti-IGN, but
Well, he's not at IGN. He's
I
independent
know.
now.
I've always listened to him a lot during the FTC trials, and got stuck on
you-
his content.
Yeah, you probably would, Joe. Joe said I would own Dan so bad at Halo it would be embarrassing.
Not with
I'm an
those
old
symmetrical
geezer. I
sticks.
suck at Halo now, but I can still hold my own in Call of Duty and Warzone. Bubble Boy, closing thoughts here on the Phil Spencer interviews. Tom
Yeah.
Smoller's comments. By the way, go play Ori and the Blind Forest, everybody. If you haven't played that, jeez.
Excellent.
Just really quick, I think the part I highlighted here, if we want to see the industry grow, it needs to be easier for everyone to access the content. It's 1,000% right. And our children are screaming at us that this is the answer. Every day you walk into a building at any school, probably across America, that they're playing on 12 different things, whether it's their phone, their tablet, their Chromebook. Some of them have Switches. It needs to be everywhere. And then that other line about not supporting all these devices makes no sense since you just cut out a huge chunk of your potential audience. It's the exact same thing. So I am bringing it back full circle. So very excited that Horizon is going to PlayStation.
Do you guys have any thoughts about how we compared it to the DVD players only being able to play on one versus the other? Is that a fair comparison?
It's like
I
movie.
mean, there were two DVD players. There were two formats, Blu-ray and HD
yeah,
DVD.
yeah.
Like,
Right.
Todd brought
Yeah,
that
and
up earlier.
HD DVD died real quick, right? Like,
But I mean, those weren't brands; those were formats. Like that's a technicality. But the reality was, like, I think they realized quickly, like, this is stupid because, like, when a movie comes out, like Vanilla Sky, which is dumb, they have to make it in two different formats. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes sense to make it one time. And the reality is, like, ARC boxes are just computers. They are computers with different faces on them. It's not like it was when they were 16 and 32-bit systems. Oh God. So I'm just saying, like, it's cool. Like, I think we're in the right place. Dan's showing Vanilla Sky on the screen.
Guys,
We're all-
I think the better. Go ahead.
Everybody go watch Vanilla Sky, one of the
Sure,
greatest
probably
sci-fi
It's the worst movie ever made.
just dramas you could ever watch. Bacon clearly hasn't watched it. It's just an incredible
Shut the
movie.
up, Gary.
Hey!
Thank you.
And the Will Ferrell said it, not me. No, I think the better comparison, and of course, bring it back to Seinfeld, is the bra, right? When you make bras, you're only selling to 50% of the world.
gotta make the
And
man's
then,
ear.
so of course, George, oh my God, not George, Frank Costanza, of course, in all his brilliance, decided to make the bro or the man's ear, and then you can sell to anybody. So
Yeah, Bubba Boy, really are boomers. Nobody's going to get that reference, not even Joe.
you did.
All right.
So
Shout out to the chat. Nissa said, I was telling a girl about Dreamlight Valley, and she said, I'll play it on my iPad, which you can, but not the full game. But exactly. People just want the access. Mr. Babat said, the war is finally over. Yeah, we get it. Gentle Stone, especially when it's all software and x86 hardware, just different software wrappers, all oversimplified. Mr. Badbit, lay down your weapons. Coach Goose. Shout out to Coach Goose and the chat. Daddy D Wally on Tom Cruise's peen. You got that right. And don't act like you're not a big Tom Cruise fan.
boy, Goose,
Oh gosh.
Missy Goose.
Guys, let's move on to news story number 3. Does someone want to take this one? I actually don't even.
I put this in here. It's really more of a quick news story, but I thought it was interesting because we often bring up the fact that we really never get numbers from both PlayStation and Xbox about like their systems, especially Game Pass, and like we were pretty sure they were operating it at a loss for a very long time, possibly even now. But basically, CEO Satya Nadella of Microsoft said their Q2 fiscal season basically saw a huge growth and a lot of momentum, especially for cloud gaming, which is no shock. Like it's not like a big surprise because of all they've been pushing.
Everybody's doing
all that
Indiana
stuff.
Jones.
Yeah, Indiana Jones from December. But what I think is really cool is that they talked about one of the ways that they're measuring cloud gaming and Game Pass is hours, right? That they've decided that's going to be their metric, and they said over 140 million hours were streamed just in that quarter from Xbox, and they saw a huge growth in PC subscriber for Game Pass, right? And part of that, in my opinion, is probably the price, right? Because when you compare the different tiers, it's one of the cheaper ones, especially because you get all the multiplayer benefits and stuff. But the other piece of it is just that, especially with handhelds, right? That's the piece that I think is interesting here, because we also saw that at CES and all these other things, the Claw. I just think it's a cool time, man, that like really this thing is kind of catching on, which is also why when we asked earlier, I don't think it's insane that one day it might be on PlayStation. Like, again, not soon. I get that there's still going to be a console war for a while, but I think until truly the industry goes agnostic, but I think that's not crazy at this point. So I just want to say shout out to them, because clearly they're making money, and that was what my biggest fear was, because if they don't make money, then they stop doing all this. Right. And they're very much poised for a big spring with all the games they released, Avowed, and just everything. It's gonna be insane, man. So
or was this really just because of people wanting to play Call of Duty and Indiana Jones, like just those two games?
So what? Even if it's just those two, that's still amazing. They're getting all that growth from 2 games. What a deal for them.
Especially with the stranglehold Steam has on the PC gaming, in general, to see 30% growth in Game Pass instead of just buying the game on Steam, which a lot of people do. Yep. I mean, that's still huge. And as much as people complain about the PC Game Pass app, to see a 30% growth, now, yeah, it could be temporary. It could be, want to do your first battle pass and you're unsubscribed. But, out of 30%, do 20 of them stay, permanently? Because this lineup is absolutely absurd. So this PC's been the spot for growth for quite some time, actually. So again, do we count this in our console sales? Look, we're up 30%, bro. We're selling so many consoles. I don't know.
Bubble Boy, any closing thoughts on Game Pass growth, or do you want to talk about Indiana Jones?
I'm excited about it, and it makes sense to me. I'm ready to move on to Indiana Jones, though.
News story number 4. How do we win the bet with Luke on this?
I think we did.
I thought he said $1 million. I'm pretty sure.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, aka Game of the Year 2024, has been played by more than 4 million players, speaking of old Satya Nadella. This was announced during the investor call. This is coming from, I don't know, Xbox Era. Is the ones reporting it. I'm pretty sure Luke said 1 million sold. We don't have a number for sold, you guys, but 4 million. Do we really think that 3+ million were on Game Pass? Maybe, or maybe all 4 were on Game Pass. Bubble Boy, what do you think about this? Do you think that? First of all, do you think 4 million players is better than what we expected? How do you feel about that number? And do you think they sold 1 million copies?
I think they had to have sold 1 million copies, and even if they didn't, 4 million people are playing this game. And like Gentle Stone said, like that, if 4 million people came to Game Pass to play that, I bet 3 million kept their Game Pass subscription to keep playing all the other things. I'm one of the ones that I didn't pay for it, but I paid for the deluxe edition, right, so that I could play it early and get all the content.
Yes. Dude, I can't wait for the DLC.
I know. Oh my god, I know. And so let's say they only sold 1 million copies. I guess I don't count in that, but I should. I gave them my money multiple times, and I will keep giving them my money. So hell yeah, awesome.
Yeah. I think this is great news, but I gotta jump in here about Coach Goose. This is insane. Goose, you better be kidding. Coach Goose said, when did an Indiana Jones game come out? Goose, you have a Series X. I'm pretty sure you have Game Pass. This is bad. I don't actually. I can't even say this is bad marketing. I
Failure
saw
marketing.
Indiana Jones marketing all over the place.
Yeah.
Goose.
Yeah.
This game feels like Oblivion at times. It's incredible. It's a first-person Indiana Jones games. You are not happy with Starfield? This game's going to blow you away. Goose, go on your Xbox right now and download Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I can't believe. Gosh, Goose.
Casual.
Oh, Coach Goose said NCAA is the only thing that matters. Air Force, 4-time national champions, built this team brick by brick. God dang it, Goose. Casuals, you guys. Look at this. Goose plays that, Skyrim over and over again, Fallout over and over again, and what's the other one he plays? Fortnite. Come on, Goose.
Goose, you'll love Indiana Jones.
Oh, you
It's
really
great,
will.
Goose. You will love it
And
too.
why does he subscribe to Game Pass if that's all he plays?
I don't think he does. Jose, thoughts on 4 million players?
So here's part of the reason I put this in here too. Also, shout out to Xbox Hero, David, in our other chat in Discord. Love seeing the stuff he posts. He's had some great stuff. Just a quick question without Googling. How much money do you think Indiana Jones 5 made in its opening weekend when it released, The Dial of Destiny?
Was that the terrible one?
I don't think I watched
That was the newest one.
So
First weekend?
No, I was thinking
60
Crystal
million.
Skull.
It's exactly 60 million.
Holy!
Which is good. That was a great guess, Dan.
I'm a prophet!
That's not
Good
how
thing you put
profits
that
work.
money on the Chiefs.
Exactly!
But here's my point, and I thought it was a fun movie. My daughters loved it. The point is,
Guys,
this is
I
making
seriously
more
like
than
saw
that.
it come to my head, Jose. I saw it.
This is
crazy.
This is more than that
Nostradamus.
in terms of dollars. Now, again, I know we don't know exactly how much of this was like Game Pass versus like buying the direct game, but like this is very, very competitive in that realm. And this is in a time when like we all truly were a little worried about indie because it's just like
Yeah.
an older property. It doesn't necessarily
Nobody
resonate
cares
with
about
gamers,
Indiana
and
Jones.
it's doing amazing, man. So I think there's two things.
Is
to take
this
from
amazing, Jose?
Yes, it is amazing, dude. It's one of the
I think
reasons
it's
you just
solid.
said
I
why
think
people
it's
are picking up Game Pass, right?
Overperforming. For sure.
But I think it shows that
It's
when you
only 2
take
months
time to
old.
make a great game, people love it, and I think that's what we're hopefully on track to do. And the other part is that not every game has to sell 20 million to be great. Like we have to stop using that as the metric for things. Otherwise, we're never going to get smaller experiences or great experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to change that a little bit. So I'm just saying, I think that's awesome. Good guess, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Bacon, did you talk about this yet?
No, I haven't, but I do need to address Joe in the chat. He put in here played versus bought. That's his big metric. So I'll have to ask you, Joe, versus Astrobot's 1.5 million sales, who made more money? Xbox with 4 million recurring subscription payments for 12 months, or that one-time purchase of Astrobot?
But Bacon, how much money did it cost to make Indiana Jones versus Astrobot? Come on.
I think they're probably the same, about 40 million.
Or how many people returned Astrobot?
Anyway, sorry, Joe. I don't know. I don't think that's probably Astrobot. Underperforming is so obvious. I don't think it's underperforming. I actually think that this game.
It's 2 months old, Joe. How's that 4 million
I
underperforming?
and I think you're going to get a few, probably about that same number on PlayStation. I think that for Indiana Jones, an old guy IP, I feel like this is pretty positive.
Did anybody get motion sickness playing it?
No,
That was
I
the
didn't.
whole outrage, remember?
yeah, you can't play a first-person game with Indiana Jones. He's
motion sickness.
Chance. Just don't worry about it.
Making his full Twitter boat right now. It's okay.
I am.
Guys, by the way, I'm
Sorry.
skipping
Fun.
this Summer Game Fest crap. We don't talk about Jeff Keighley on this show anymore. So
Okay.
delete that. Thank you, Jose. Delete that. Of course, Keighley was the first person to tweet out about Forza Horizon 5 coming to PlayStation.
The winky
on
face?
He never tweets out about other games coming to other platforms, but you know he damn well is going to tweet about an Xbox game coming to PlayStation. So Keighley is permabanned from this show. We don't need to talk about him.
Does that mean we're not going to watch the Game Awards next year?
I just don't like him.
I'm
at
okay
all.
with that.
I just don't like Jeff Keighley at all. He's permabanned as far as I can. New story
Kojima?
number 5.
Kojima?
Bacon, take it away. Bacon wanted. Did Bacon put this in, or was this a Jose?
I put this in there for Bacon, actually. But Bacon, tell us about your adventures today.
Basically, you guys, the 5090 is out, released today, and it's a phantom GPU. You're never going to get one.
So it's super frustrating. I normally camp out for these and I'll spend a night outside Micro Center with a tent and a sleeping bag. This year it fell on a work day, which has never happened before. It's always on Tuesday, so I was kind of already upset. They so I had all my websites open. I left to go to work early so I could be at work in the parking lot ready to try to buy. Freaking Newegg never updated their page, so I'm refreshing. So then I bounced over to Best Buy, got in line, and I'm like, oh God, please, fingers crossed. And I literally 40 seconds later sold out. And then I get over and they start refreshing GPUs on Newegg. Never, ever, ever in stock. Not one, never even saw an add to cart. So it just brings me back and reminds me of the console launch in 2020. And I had really good luck. I got a lot of consoles for friends who couldn't seem to get them. So I'm confident I'm going to get one, but who knows? So this is what's called a paper launch. I think all total, our Micro Center here in Denver had 10 5090s and 91 5080s are the numbers we're getting. And Tustin, California had 91 5090s in California. So that's like, so it's super frustrating. I don't know if they do this to drive up demand and keep prices high, but it'll settle down because only a few of us want to buy this thing because it's that expensive. So, and then also the 5080 didn't review very well. So if you're thinking of upgrading to a 5080, I probably wouldn't.
It
Todd,
didn't do
tell
well
your
compared to a 40.
to a 4080 Super.
Yeah, 4080 Super. It only beat
Todd,
about
tell your
3
friend
or 4%
not to
in
do it.
general raster. So
Don't do it.
yeah, I would not upgrade to a 5080, but the jump to a 5090 is so substantial that it's a no-brainer to go to 5090. So
I got bad news for you, Bacon. Game Positive said, man, I had a solid 10-minute window where I could have bought a 5090 in Canada today. I could have snagged one for you. Well, thanks, Eric.
yeah,
Shipping would have been another $100.
I was just gonna say, yeah, and then with tariffs, he'd have been paying $6 anyway.
Bacon will pay anything.
no, I won't. I refuse to pay a scalper. I hope they all lose their money and they all get kicked out of their houses because they thought it was a
Speaking of
good
which-
idea to buy 10 5090s. Now they're sitting on $20,000 worth of crap they can't sell.
Speaking of which, Bacon sent us in our personal text chat today. The prices already on eBay are over $6,000 for these GPUs. By
They
the way,
won't get it.
people, that's insane. What are they going to get though, Bacon? Maybe not 6. Are they going to make it 4?
I mean, they can
Yeah,
get.
they will.
I mean, probably a $500 markup someone would pay for. I refuse to because it's already so expensive.
I think you underestimate how many rich people out there will pay anything. Shout out to the chat. Goose is installing Indiana Jones. Hopefully, we'll get a report back from him about that. And then I wanted to read Gentle Stone. You should download the new drivers and get some DLSS4. I literally just did that before
Did
the
you?
show.
I haven't tried that
It
yet,
popped
but
up. I was shocked that the NVIDIA app actually told me to download it. And so thank God I do have my drivers are ready to go here.
I'd like to see what kind of performance that helps and offers. So it could prolong the lives of some of these GPUs for a long time.
And then for real bacon, Eric said, would you want me to buy you one if it comes back for retail? LOL.
I don't know. Your Canadian prices and exchange rate could be weird.
Joe is playing Outer Worlds. Bacon, you got to ask yourself, do you want one right away or not? Because this is, I say,
Well, the problem I run into is I don't want to sell mine on Facebook. I would rather trade in a Newegg for $1,350. That's
So the issue is patience.
yes,
exactly.
and
Do
I
they not
have
give you a
very
check?
little.
They only
Huh?
give you a gift card?
Yeah, but what am I going to spend $1,350 on a Newegg?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
over the next-
Can you not go to Micro Center and then give you cash?
Yeah, but their
check.
trading values are half of what Newegg offers.
Anyway, we'll stop this PC nerd chat. Let's move on, guys, to what have we been playing and or watching. I would like to go really quick here because I forgot to mention this last week. I forgot to tell you guys. Did I tell you I completed Tales of Kanzera Zao?
I think you mentioned it in chat at one point.
I maybe mentioned it, but I just want to give a quick little update on that. I've been taking notes on the games I've beaten this year, and this is game number 5. And Tales of Kanzera Zao. I beat this on Steam. I had 15.5 hours. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's a solid, maybe your first Metroidvania. Think everything Ori and the Blind Forest. Like so many similarities, only slightly worse combat, powers, platforming, world, graphics, basically everything. Good story about losing a parent, but the whole time I just couldn't help think that they took everything from Ori and it's just not quite as good in every way. I recommend this if you are looking for your first Metroidvania to get into, but if you're a fan of these types of games, please play Ori, Blasphemous, Prince of Persia, which from what I hear, first, I haven't gotten to Prince of Persia, but overall, I enjoyed my time with it, but I think that a sequel would improve it a lot. Ori on PlayStation, isn't it? Ori still not on PlayStation?
I mean, it should be soon.
That one's a
Why
weird
wouldn't it
one.
be?
I don't know why that one's not on there, but yeah, that's
on-
an incredible game. It's
on
on Switch.
Switch.
Yeah, I know it's on Switch and PC. Oh, it's weird. They must have some. They must have had some
Vendetta
publishing deal.
against
Yeah,
Sony.
back then. Guys, and I've been playing Assassin's Creed 4, so I don't really have anything else what we've been watching. Jose, what about you? What have you been playing or watching?
So I'm 60 hours. It took me 60 hours to finally get through Stalker 2. And
Wow.
here's what I'll say. I really did enjoy my time. Really, really, truly did. Like, had a lot of fun for about 40 hours. Part of the issue is, without spoiling any of the story was fine. This is probably a me issue. It's not necessarily a Stalker issue, just because it takes place basically in Russia. The names is just, for whatever reason in my brain, I had trouble remembering who was who. And so like the story would have meant a lot more to me if I could keep the characters straight. And I just couldn't, to be honest with you. Part of that is also because like they're all basically in like quasi military gear because they have to be for the story. Like it all makes sense. But by the time I got to the final part of the story, like I understood what was happening, but I missed pieces. And I'm pretty sure I made a wrong choice at one point, like a pretty significant one, because you have to like make choices in the game. But it was fun. The other big problem I will say I had with it, I wanted to do a gamer grade. I just didn't have a chance before the show. Was the map is huge, and that was a big thing that they like promoted when they made the game. They said it's bigger than the first one. They were comparing it to some other game with a huge map, and they were like, "No, it's way bigger than that." It was a huge map. Fast travel is basically not a thing with it. And one of the worst things they did after about the 40-hour mark is that as the story starts wrapping up, because I stopped doing side quests at that point because I basically had everything I needed and I wanted, like everything was upgraded as much as I needed and stuff. They would say like, all right, you need to go do this thing. And it'd be like literally in this corner of the map. And then you'd go there and you do it. And then they'd be like, all right, now you need to go here. And it was literally like all the way at the bottom. And so just like that travel, it just became very redundant for me. Again, beautiful game, really cool, like monsters. The gameplay was really solid. In terms of like stability, it definitely crashed from time to time. Like when I'd play long sessions, it would get to a point where things would like slow down almost and almost stop. I would literally just save, back out, restart it, and it was fine. But again, I don't fault them for that. Again, I just need to reiterate, this is literally made by a team they were making it during a war, like literal bombings, members of their team in a war. Like they made an incredible game for that. And honestly, you can see a lot of that in the actual story. In the end, again, I would probably give it about a 7 for me. It would have scored higher if it had been just a tad bit shorter. It's just because, again, it just got repetitive for me, but fun. And one of the things I loved the most for that first 40 hours was that because it did take a while to get from place to place, I would literally have a podcast on in the background, and it was great because I didn't feel like I wasn't missing dialogue, I wasn't missing story. I was just exploring, and there's some audio cues you have to watch out for some of the monsters and some other items, but it was cool. So in the end, super cool. If you probably not till after summer because we got a pretty packed spring. But if you're looking for a game that's going to take you between 50 and 60 hours and that you kind of take it slow a little bit, but it's definitely like good first person mechanics and stuff, survival, check out Stalker 2. Shout out to the team. The other thing I did finally start because I wanted something short before Avowed comes out here in a couple weeks, and Spider-Man, which I should be playing here soon. I started Silent Hill 2. I've never played Silent Hill 2. Like even when it originally came out, even though I'm a big like horror and Resident Evil fan, it just was like in that weird phase where I didn't have the system that played it, like I mentioned earlier. I'm having a great time. I will say the first like 3 to 4 hours, I was legitimately kind of bored. Because if you've never played the game, it's very slow intentionally because it's meant to like build anticipation and fear and stuff like that. But I will tell you, if you've played any kind of game with a parry system or like like Elden Ring basically, or Souls like, I'm straight wrecking these fools. Like, and because they give you a melee weapon in the game if you didn't know that, and you can use it infinitely. It doesn't break or anything. God, what a time that was when melee weapons didn't break in games. And so I've gotten really good at like dodging things and just whacking them. I think right now, legitimately, and I'm for those that have played the game, I'm at the labyrinth. If you know where that is, there's like a big cube that you're manipulating. That's where I'm at right now. It's pretty close to the end of the game. I have legitimately 50 healing items.
Yeah.
5-0.
Yeah.
And I have 150 bullets in my gun. I have 75 shotgun shells and like 40 rifle bullets. Because again, I don't really need a ton of ammo because like I just wreck fools with my pipe.
Well, yeah, and you're used to playing like Resident Evil. Oh,
Yeah.
hello.
Yep. There's chance froze for a second. I can hear you though.
Yeah.
Very strange. Okay, well,
But really enjoying it. I'll finish it up here probably this weekend. And then if I have time for Spider-Man 2, shout out to Joe and Kyle, then I will do that before Avowed. If not, I might put a pin in that and then play Avowed when it comes out here shortly. To the questions in the chat about it real quick. Sorry, Nis is right. It is Ukraine, not Russia. But like, it's not Chernobyl too, which like that's where I get confused from, for the record. And they actually show some pretty like well-known parts of Chernobyl. Basically, Eric asked how it ranks compared to Immersion. It's pretty immersive. Like I feel like I'm a dude in like a war-torn country with like radiation and monsters and stuff like that. Especially if you play with headphones, the audio design is really, really good. And same with Silent Hill, for the record, also really, really good. Todd asks, he said Silent 2 feels really clunky. It is. I can only imagine the original one, especially if it was like tank controls or like the old kind of like slower frame rate controls. It would have been hard with some of the enemies. With like modern controls, it's fast. Like
How do you think Bloober Team did on it since their last project of?
Joe, I
I
got
think-
an answer to your soul. Give me a second. I'll tell him once Jose's done.
I mean, honestly, I don't know because I didn't play the original, so I don't have. It's not like when I played Resident Evil 4. I remember playing it on the GameCube and I played it in the modern version, or Resident Evil 2. It's fine for me. I got to
last game, the medium.
Yeah, and I didn't play.
and
it.
that game
Chance played
sucked.
Chance played medium. He
Wasn't
did not like
that
it.
bad?
It was terrible.
But I really like Pyramid Head was really cool. Like I know who he is because like that's a big pop culture icon. And so when I got to the first fight with him, I was like, oh, this is it. And I beat it on the first shot. Like you know what I'm saying? Because again, some of that is just like when you play enough horror games, there's tropes that they follow and stuff. I could see how as a kid Dan was terrified playing Silent Hill with Jack in his basement and stuff like that.
Never played anyone after that.
Yeah.
Still have to play this.
So I'm excited to finish it. The story's definitely a little bizarre. I'll let you know what ending I end up with by the end. I think I know which one I'm going for, but we'll see. So other than that, watched a little bit of Creature Commando still, and that's about it.
Joe, the gift on Steam, when you go to your cart, if you look underneath the game, like I have Spider-Man 2 pulled up right here, it says for my account, and then you can select on your friends list or it says this is a gift, and then you can select who you want to purchase it for. And no, I'm not buying Spider-Man 2 right now. I'm going to wait till that's on sale. Bubble Boy, do you have something to say over there? You look like you're frozen.
You can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Weird. I have no screens. None of my screens are working. I can hear you perfect.
Bubble
Apparently you can hear
Boy,
me.
what have you been playing or watching?
Yeah, I am very excited to announce that I'm going to be replaying all of
Yes!
the Assassin's Creed games.
Yes. Tell us
So
about the
excited.
controller thing. Tell me they work.
It works perfect. So it just took a little bit when you download, I guess, a game that's that old now through Steam. It assumes you want to be in desktop mode, even if because I'm playing it on the Ally, even if have the Ally set to controller mode. I was like, oh my God, am I gonna have to play this thing touchscreen like I'm like 14 years old? Like, no way, it's not gonna happen. I finally figured that out. And then there was this thing where every like 2 minutes it would just freeze for like 2 seconds and then unfreeze and go right back to it. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It almost makes me not want to play it. And I just happened to find a thing on Reddit. I wasn't like gonna spend more than 2 minutes searching, but I just Googled weird Assassin's Creed director's cut freeze on Steam, the very first thing I found on Reddit, guy was like, "Yeah, turn off your internet. Something weird." Turned it off. Hasn't frozen a single time since. So it's been great. I am going to not give any of them gamer grades except
Why
for
not?
Mirage. Well, hear me out. Except for
Wait,
Mirage.
by the way, I want to interrupt for a quick chance. I think you should, if you give me a prompt, I'll make a video on all of your gaming grades. I'll capture stuff. I just need you to write it out, and then I
Yeah,
can read
I
it
have. I
and
mean, I
take care
have
of-
that on those.
Well, then
in
start
those
sending.
files.
Then start sending me those, and then we can figure out a way to get game capture because you can just copy
Yeah.
something from YouTube.
Well, and if you go to like the developers' websites, there's usually like publicist kits that have a bunch of stuff in there. Anyway, so I think
I
what I'm
think
gonna
you should
do-
rate all of them again.
Hear me though.
your
Hear me
journey.
out, because this is what I might do, and I would be happy to, but I have a rubric that I can't see anymore because I don't have any screens. You guys be flipping me off this whole time, and I wouldn't know.
I am.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I have like 10 different categories. They're things like who the bad guy is, what the assassin, how cool the assassin is, like the main assassin, the weapons, the story. There's 10 different categories, and I'm gonna scale each of them on. You either get 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, or 1 point, and then that way I'm going to rank them on a point system. And I know that will still be subjective, but then I can give an objective grade for ranking what is the best Assassin's Creed game based off all the different little things that are in there. Like the assassinations is one. I'm kind of excited about
It's
it. I have a-
Assassin's Creed 4, so don't worry. But keep
well, I had some other ideas, and I was like, this is actually really cool, and it's still school related because I have a cool rubric that we can show. And like I said, I think that will be the coolest way to do it because and you could tell me, does Assassin's Creed 4 still hold up today? I'm guessing it does, right?
Oh yeah, I'm having a blast. I mean, there are only small things I don't like. There's a little bit of jankiness when I'm running and jumping. I talked to you about that. Like sometimes I just
Yeah.
jump for a tree. I don't know why, but as far as like combat, it's simple and it's fun, and I love it. It's not
Totally.
like where the modern games are more like here's the health bar and I have to hack at this guy
Yep.
forever, or you can't kill this guy stealthily unless you have like a full stealth attack built up or whatever it is these days. I don't even know. So no,
And
I'm
that's
still having a
exactly
great time.
how I'm feeling with the original one, right? I'm like, this is awesome. It's not really Arkham Asylum or Arkham Knight combat, but it's like you could see like the very beginning stages of that. So I'm having a blast. It's awesome. And I'm excited to do that. I am still playing when I'm down here playing, because like I said, that's on the Ally. Still playing Avatar, which is getting so much better. I finally got the Ikran, which is like the reptile bird thing you can use to fly around. If you're ever going to play Avatar, do all of the story until you get the Ikran. It opens the game up significantly and makes it so that you really don't want to fast travel. Not quite like Spider-Man, but because you're flying around on that thing the whole time. It is still one of the most absolutely gorgeous games I've ever played. Like I said a few weeks ago, or maybe last week, in some ways it looks better than Hellblade. And you kind of have to see that. You can kind of see it in my picture there, but it just, the way the environments look are absolutely, I've never seen anything that compares to it, how beautiful it is. And then the last thing, I just started the show Paradise. Does anybody know what that is?
Hair's good.
I don't know if anyone's nodding, so I heard bacon. Yeah. Absolutely incredible looking. And Dan, you might appreciate this. It doesn't have, that I know so far, any like sci-fi elements that I know of, but it totally gives me Minority Report vibes.
Underrated movie.
Very
Yeah.
underrated
So
movie, yeah.
I'm pumped about watching that. I literally only got to watch the first 15 minutes and I'm already hooked. So
Nice.
What's it on, Chance?
Hulu. So if you, and I have
Don't have
Hulu
Hulu.
through Disney, so it like
Nice.
Is
Eric,
Minority Report on Hulu? That's with Jason Statham, right?
No, it's
you're
Tom
joking,
Cruise.
right?
just messing
Is
with
that okay?
Just messing with you.
The Game Positive said, "What will we do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he also said that Assassin's Creed 4 is the best one. He'll save you some time, Bubble Boy.
It's Odyssey, but
Odyssey, no.
I'm gonna do
Chance
the most
loves Odyssey.
objective.
Bloated.
Yep.
Almost
but
as
it's
bad as
gonna be-
Valhalla.
It's going to be very objective.
That's not even an Assassin's Creed game. That's an RPG game.
Definitive answer.
Moving on. X Bacon Gaming, what have you been playing? I've seen you on a few things.
I just wanted to give a live shout out. There are currently 17,088 players on Steam playing Spider-Man 2. Just thought I'd give a live
Shout
update.
out.
Yeah.
Is that a lot?
It's
I will
more
be
than-
shortly.
It's more than Concord.
Dang, salty.
Sorry.
that's-
I always gotta
Bit of
go
misery,
there.
dilly dilly.
Anyways, after
That's true.
After Veilguard, I've been sitting in kind of a lull, trying to play through the Master Chief Collection again. And
Oh, Bacon, I would totally play. We should have played Dead Island, but now it's maybe we can still have time once I
have
finish
time.
AC4. Once I finish
I've been
AC4,
waiting,
let's do
but
it.
You've been
Let's
on
do it.
AC4 and then
Dude, I have like
like
40
some
hours.
2D side scrollers from like
Assassin's Creed 4, you guys.
1936. So you're not even in the chat anymore. I'm always just sitting in Discord by myself. It's just like,
You know why, Bacon? Let me explain that. You're right. I do see you all alone in the guys. He's all alone in the Discord just by himself. So I'm gonna go talk to Bacon when he's playing.
Chappelle bounce in.
I
every now
usually
and
do.
again.
I didn't because I was sick this week, dude.
Well,
That's
here's
why.
the reason why,
You should
Bacon. I when I'm playing Assassin's Creed 4, similar to what Jose was saying, it's a great podcast game because sometimes I gotta sail the seas a little bit, or I'm just grinding, getting some collectibles. So that's the only reason why I'm not in the Discord. It's because I'm listening to Joe and Kyle and Luke and Logan and Ains and all them. So by the way, guys, I have 42 hours in AC4 already. Holy crap!
So, anyways, I want to support Xbox and all their endeavors. I played Ninja Gaiden Black. I'm landing at like a 72, something like that. The feels brought,
Sorry, Bacon. Did you play it on normal?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Wow. And you got through that pretty fast. So
11 and a half hours. Some of it was paused listening to podcasts, so I don't know if that counted or not. I mean, I did die a fair number of times. You will fight the camera. The camera will be your biggest enemy. And the way you reset the camera is hitting the right bumper. Like you'll get all turned around and not know where it's coming from.
can you
Ninja Gaiden
customize
has-
your controls or no? Is it like set only?
Oh, I'm sure I could. I just
Like
changed them on
rebind
the
them?
fly on my razor. So, I just never even thought about it. I just always tried to fight backwards because I hated fighting that camera because it was definitely a chore. But it's a great game. It looks as good as it can for being a remake of a super old game or a remaster of a super old game. Wasn't overly difficult on normal. Some of the bosses I had to change some strategies up, but for the most part, it was just a game for the feels. So
Joe wants to know: is it worth picking up
for 40 or
$50?
for 49,
Three.
He doesn't have Game Pass. We've already established this. He's only on PlayStation.
it depends on how much you love Ninja Gaiden. I mean, I'm an NES kid, and I
think
love
he's
that
new
original
to
game.
it.
Okay, it might.
Wait
I
for
don't know
sale.
if I'd
50 seems high. If you
50
if you're not
does
into
it is a little high. Now the next one, Ninja Gaiden 4 should definitely be worth its asking price. So Joe, I'd probably catch it on its first sale when it goes down into the 30s. Don't get me wrong, it's a great game. It's not super long. I mean, 11 and a half hours, and I'm not good at video games, so I'm sure a good guy like
Yeah,
you.
I
could
was shocked that you flew through that, Bacon.
So then I was getting prepared for the 5090 launch, and I got all these games downloaded, ready to benchmark because that's what PC players do. We benchmark.
No, we don't. Bacon does that.
And I didn't get one, so I'm having to play God of War Ragnarok. And I don't know why I landed on that one. I downloaded it to benchmark it, and then
Are you
here I
liking it,
am
Bacon?
chasing another freaking platinum. I really hate Atreus, dude. Why do they have to talk to us so much? Him in the head. What's his name? I forget his
Bacon,
name.
thank God
Did you,
you're not a teacher.
Bacon? Did you get the platinum on the first one? You didn't, did you? Because
No,
you
I
didn't want
couldn't
to
beat the
fast travel.
Valkyries. I
Because
couldn't
my
beat the Valkyries.
even put them to easy,
Got
but
it.
that wasn't the problem. Mine was like going back for the collectibles. I was like, I am not dealing with fucking with freaking
you're right.
stupid Kratos walking around that stupid loading room and waiting for the door to open. How stupid was that? And the map, the terrible map.
You know why?
Chance, how
Hold
did you
on.
do? Chance, how did you do all those collectibles and know where to go on that map? My God,
You
what
know,
a terrible,
you know
terrible
why
map
they did the
and
loading screen that way, though,
to
right?
force you to hear
'Cause
stupid
it's
ass
PS4.
com.
No, because so that there was never a break on the.
There's no
It's
black
te-
screen.
Oh God, it's so bad though. You guys.
It's in
Again,
Ragnarok too.
It's a artistic design choice. I thought it was really cool. It did get old, but how you never what's that called? Like that Katy Perry video. It's
like a
should
one
know.
shot.
Yes,
What's it called?
yes. I think one shot's what
There's,
you're calling.
no, there's a word for it.
Not that one. Not that one.
I got the eye of a
But
tiger.
I got a hot take here that the Leviathan axe is way better than the Blades of Chaos.
No, that's not a hot take at all. Hold on. By the way, Ains said, "Damn, I'm sorry, Bacon, to you playing Ragnarok." He said Ragnarok is silly overrated. So
I'm just sick of Mimir talking and the kid telling me that we need to try something after I've looked at a puzzle for like 13 seconds. And they're like, "Hey, Dad, try to freeze this." I'm just like, "Shut the fuck up. Let me
hey, you know what?
figure
Hey,
this out."
shout out to Joe. Me and Joe agree on something. Bad map. Thank you, Joe. What a terrible map in God of War. Just absolutely atrocious. And Ain says, you know what I love? I love getting angry and whining about something, doing something I don't have to do, that you don't have to do. Yeah.
And then I also want to
Trophies.
give a quick shout out to PlayStation for removing their PSN login for Steam users.
Yeah.
On single player, they're giving us guys who log in bonuses and skins and other things that.
So you don't
awesome.
get trophies, though, if you're not signed in, correct?
Right, if you're not signed in. I'm going for the trophies and getting the extras. So super shout out. That's smart of them. They cut their sales in half by not supporting 200 countries or what. I don't even know if there's 200 countries in this world.
Mimir!
Shout
Mimir
Shout
was
out
the
to
only
Sonic
good
Fat.
thing.
And then also what I've been watching, I started watching Shrinking and I've
Yes.
binging that show.
Yes.
And that is
Incredible.
so freaking good.
God, you guys
Incredible.
are such Apple TV stars.
Dude, it
It's
is
not
so
that good. I've
dude,
watched it. I've
Jason
watched the whole
Segel
first
is
season.
something
It's
else.
not-
So good.
Thank you. It is
so
great.
Dan, there's plenty of Bravo for you to watch. You don't have to.
Real
We're
Housewives
watching
of-
Southern Charm, New Orleans. Speaking
Real
of
Housewives
uh,
of Tulsa's coming, I hear, Dan. You got your
Woo,
plates
another
full.
one. Woo,
Yeah.
let's go, baby.
Jesus. Shrinking's awesome.
It's nice.
God, can we talk more bad crap about the horrible design choices in God of War? Todd says, I thought they tweaked the NPC dialogue, hence game positive. A 9.5 for Ragnarok, Eric? I am absolutely shocked.
I've only
Ains said
heard
bad take. Eric is bad. Yeah, I am shocked at that one, Ains, because usually Eric and I are simpatico, as they say. And that
I
one,
was
I'm
gonna
like,
take a
whoa.
shot. I was gonna take a shot for every
Whoa.
time I heard boy, and I've only heard it
Boy,
once.
boy.
Anybody else
I need
notice
Joe
that
to
he
do
doesn't
it.
say boy in Ragnarok?
No, because he doesn't have time because his boy is shouting at him the entire
I
time.
know.
Oh,
I'm
God,
never.
you're right. The
I'm
kid
never-
won't shut up.
I'm never gonna play the this second.
You have to for the.
I'll play it
for the
at some point.
platinum.
Nope.
You have
nope.
to
I'm waiting for Spider-Man 2 to drop to like $20-$25. That'll be my next PlayStation game.
support Sony.
Coach
We need
Goose
them-
said, "You know what game was overrated? Starfield." Get Nissa, put Goose on a 5-minute timeout. He's bad takes tonight, Goose. You didn't even know indie existed. Get out of here.
Real quick, Bacon, I'm curious when you're because you're playing it through.
Hold on,
Steam.
Chance. Breaking
Yes.
tweet from Porsche Power. Take a shot. Every time Atreus tells you what to do, you'll be dead in 48 hours.
That is fair. The kid will not shut up.
Yep.
Anyways, what are you saying, Chance?
Can you see that I have a platinum on it through Steam? Like,
You
how
can
do
pull
you?
up. You can pull up the PlayStation overlay from the pause menu. In
Oh,
the
it's
game,
an
and I
overlay,
can
okay.
see all friends lists. I can join parties. Like it has full functionality, and I don't have to pay $120 a year to do it.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay.
I always have these little digs for PlayStation.
You really do, baby.
Really?
But
even
that
though
one worked
even
well.
though he's constantly playing PlayStation games on his
So,
PC, and,
I have
and
to
he
have more
and he
platinums
actually
than
has
Joe.
he would disagree with us saying that this is PlayStation getting the first good Horizon game because he actually liked the first Horizon.
I did like the
Zero
first
Dawn.
one, and I had to decide between playing the second one and playing God of War, and somehow I landed on God of War, and Amir won't shut up.
Anyway, Chance, you did bring up about the little tweaks with the PC and playing on your Ally with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I also have another little PSA, even though not many people are playing Assassin's Creed 4 on Steam right now. I had problems trying to go play the multiplayer because I was like, maybe I'll grind out the multiplayer achievements. No, it's shutting down soon, and I'm not going to. But in order to get multiplayer launch chance, it would just crash my game every time. And apparently, what you had to do was disable the NVIDIA overlay. and then it started to go into it. So that's the things about
Do you-
PC gaming, you
you
guys.
use the
which is
overlay?
No, but I usually just had it in the background, and it was causing the game to crash every time. And again, similar to you, randomly on Reddit, it's like disabled the overlay, blah blah blah. Let's get back into the chat here. Shout out. Nissa said, Goose, be quiet for 4 minutes. Game Positive, they should retroactively add trophies to Days Gone on Steam. You know what? I actually agree because I have Days Gone. Actually, I bought Days Gone on my PS5 but never played it. I have Days Gone on my Steam wish list, and I would absolutely appreciate having
It's like
trophies on
$8
Epic
all the time on there. It's so good.
Is it so good?
For $8, yes.
Goose
than
said
The Last
no.
of Us.
Starfield is overrated. I can't stay quiet about it. Nessa, put him on another extra 4 minutes, please. And Gentle
quiet for 4
Stone,
minutes.
Gentle Stone. You know what's overrated? No
Underrated.
Man's
Underrated.
Sky. Oh, underrated. No Man's Sky. Never got into No Man's Sky. 9 years later, and Hello Games is still adding substantial stuff to it.
Can you believe
Shout
it's
out.
been 9 years since that came out?
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember
All
that.
that
Was,
controversy.
I remember that was PS4.
Controversy.
Final shout out here, you guys. I
was
wanted to
deep cut.
share. I just got a saucy message from in my Instagram here,
I get saucy messages on Instagram all the time.
What?
and it's
not good,
I'm
Dan.
not gonna lie, it was.
Yeah, I don't think you should open that.
I already did. Dang it, it's
great.
gone now. She retracted it. Oh wait, here it is. Here it is.
probably.
Guys, listen to this. This is hot stuff right here. Hey, Daniel. Sorry for texting from a fake account, but I want to confess something. I have been stalking your profile, but I'm too shy to make the first move.
Yeah. Oh,
And I
jeez.
almost forgot. My real one is over at this.
Yeah.
This is from Jewel.
That sounds
Actually,
real.
a real person.
Yeah.
I'm going to accept this message request, and we're going to talk.
Shut the up, Gary.
Guys. Oh no, Joe says it's him with his shirt off.
Yeah, of
Dang
course it is,
Oh man.
Which honestly will get you in less trouble than what it probably is. So go take.
Dude, I
Joe
should
out
I should
there,
show
babe.
this message to Allie. She's like, what the fuck? Who's this?
No more social
She
media
won't-
for
she'll
you.
be like, oh,
She'll delete
China
it.
box.
She really
You
she
share an
literally
Instagram account now.
she would freak F out. Even if, like I should actually just accept this and not show that it says okay, I'll update you how
It's
that
a
goes. in a
bot
second.
from China.
I know
There's
it. I
nothing
know
to
it
freak
is,
out.
but I want to see what Allie said. Goose just texted Allie. How do you have my wife's phone number, Goose? What the? What the? Thank you, Jose. Guys, let's close the show like we always do with the best food we had this week. Bubble Boy, you look like you're excited over there with something to say with your face. So, what was the best food that you had this week?
Don't know what my face is doing.
It's
right
actually
now
a
'cause
good
I
snapshot of you. It's just you
can't
being
see
you.
anything. We started this thing called Hungry Root. Has anybody ever heard of Hungry
I've heard
Root?
of Hungry Root.
Yeah, you get like groceries delivered and meals, and they're all like really, really simple. So it's like all those other like meal in a box kit things, except they are super simple. Like the longest one takes like 5 minutes. I'm allergic to pine nuts, so I can almost never have pesto. But they have their pesto. They use roasted sunflower seeds, and we had this like pesto couscous chicken thing the other day. It was absolutely incredible from them. So.
Are you sure
Yeah.
they don't use?
These nuts.
Got him.
Got him.
Good one.
Shout out to Game Positive. Good night, brother. Get some sleep over there. It's like 5 a.m. over in
Yeah, it is.
Eastern Canada.
In Greenland, which is going to be America soon.
Yeah, he's
got
going to
it.
be a part of the United States here soon. Jose, what about you? What's the best food you had this week?
I'm going to tell you, but very quickly, Dan Bacon, do me a favor. I want you to stare right at your camera.
Wait. Ain said he's running to Instagram right now to check his messages too. Okay. What do you stare? Like,
Stare at your camera.
What kind of face
Just
am I
look
going?
Just to the left, just a little bit to the left, and a small smile. Just like Chance. All right, there we go. I had a great week this week. Friday after my birthday week, my coworker and my secretary Pam bought me Popeyes for lunch at work, which was fantastic. And then the better part of that weekend, we had a lot of sickness going through our house, which is why I'm sick now. But we pho,
not
which is
COVID again, is it?
fantastic.
Wait. No, Jose, is it that virus that's going around? I just
No, I
got a-
didn't get that. Thank God. Mine's all like a head cold and stuff, but that also did come through our household. Thank God I didn't have that one because my toilets are already doing enough damage for me. So it would have been worse. And then tonight, one of my favorite things that I can't get it right yet, but I'm getting closer is I'm a big fan of Jeff Morrow. He's a chef from the Food Network. He's a Chicago guy, and I have his cookbook, and he has pizza in there. I haven't quite gotten to the Chicago deep dish. That's a little scary for me, but he makes a Detroit style pizza like Jets, and I want to make a good version of it at home. And I was so close tonight. I think I need to let my dough proof for more. But we made homemade Detroit
Valentine's,
pizza.
man.
I thought about that maybe for a
Yeah.
Valentine's dinner. But it was really, really good, man. We did like the pepperonis that make like the little cups and stuff, and it was absolutely delightful with some Caesar salad. That was the best food that I had this week. Chat, let us know what you had, by the way. Yeah.
Bacon. What about you? What was the best food you had this week?
I'm here to file an official complaint. Perry's Pizza's quality has gone down so far that was a little loud.
Jose, that
a
was
little
really
hot.
loud.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I will actually now put Perry's Pizza under Little Caesars Pizza.
Whoa!
And my wife agrees. We went grocery shopping, ordered it before we went in. Grocery shop came out, grabbed it. Dang. I picked it up, and my wife's like, "Is there even a pizza in there?" And I lift the top, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, there's a pizza. That crust is literally this thick now at Perry's. It is.
Jose's like,
I almost didn't want to eat
bacon.
I almost didn't want to eat the
pizza did you get?
leftovers. Huh?
What pizza did you get?
Just a standard ass pizza with sausage and pepperoni.
I also love that you said I almost didn't want to eat the leftovers.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Oh, I did almost.
there.
I was close. But
Still
Mike,
there.
I remember back when Perry's used to be legit pizza, and it is
Ours here is
literally
still really good. I'm sorry.
a
you haven't had
Totino's
one,
pizza
dude.
now. I swear to Christ.
Hey, don't hate on
Standard pizza.
Totino's.
Yeah, but for the price though, you don't want to pay the price for that. Yeah.
Right. I'm shocked at how bad Perry's has gotten. They used to be my go-to. Now I got to find a new pizza joint. Like, I have no
I'm
words.
sorry,
for
man.
that Perry's
That's terrible,
pizza.
dude.
Anti-best food for bacon. So I'm sorry to hear that, bacon. But
But add a pizza because this is now considered fast food. So add a pizza to the tally for me because that was terrible.
okay.
Okay.
Chance, do you know those squirt Gatorade bottles that you always rave about?
You
Yeah.
just made a mess with yours.
Yeah. How do you make sure it doesn't leak all over you all the time? What the heck is with these things?
You have to get rid of it when it starts doing that.
Okay, cool. Great
So
quality
it's single
control.
use is what you're telling me?
No, they last like 10 years each.
I've had this for less than 6 months. Cool.
Yeah, I did see you spill all over yourself.
Did you buy it on Temu?
Bought it at
That's
King
fair.
Supers.
Is it the green one? I can't see anything. So.
No, it's one of those
I don't think the color matters.
GX ones.
Chance.
It's like color. It's white.
Yeah, those aren't. And you probably paid way more than
Yeah.
those green ones.
Well,
are
it was
like-
on sale for $20. Anyway, enough Gatorade bottle talk. Let's get. We haven't updated this in a long time. We have 335 subscribers, 122 Popeyes spicy regular chicken sandwiches devoured, 97 breakfast burritos. Those are 98% of me. 41 Chipotle burritos, 64 Big Macs and QPCs, and 125 pizzas eaten. It's been a while. We got to remember to pull that up more often. The best food I had this week, guys. I know you all are haters, but we went to the OG, got Olive Garden to go, and I love me some
Gotta love
chicken
the
and
breadsticks.
shrimp
Never gonna hate
carbonara. By the way, they gave us like a huge tray. You know those like aluminum foil, like the big trays of breadsticks. They gave us excess of an amount of breadsticks. Absolutely delicious. Always love that. Got a gift card, so it was nice not having to pay for that full price.
Kipling and Alameda. Is that the one?
No, we go to the one in Golden, Denver, or not Golden, it's Lakewood,
Oh,
Denver West.
yeah,
It's actually
yeah.
pretty dang fast to get to because I just hop on I-70 to Colfax,
C4, you mean?
basically.
Or your IC? Yeah.
470, yeah, 70. It's just right over there, super fast. And final thing we're going to say here for closing, Todd Oxter said, dumb question. Why do video cards have 3 display ports and only 1 HDMI port? I can answer that, Todd, because DisplayPort is the optimum way to display your data. Yes, it is, Jose.
No,
It
that's
has
that's
most
correct.
bandwidth.
But that's not why they have that. It's because DisplayPort doesn't carry an audio signal. HDMI does. And you only want one audio signal feeding what you're doing.
I didn't
well,
even
there you
think of
go.
that.
There you go.
I just think of it multi-monitors.
Yeah, me too. And I have a display port to my monitor and then the HDMI running to my TV. But
Same.
yeah.
Same, but they're all black right now.
All right, gentlemen, this has been the Nerd Chat episode 196. PlayStation finally gets a good Forza Horizon game. My name is Daddy Diwali. You can follow me at Daddy Diwali
Gentlestone.
across all social media. You can follow the show at the Nerd Chat on all social media. Make sure to check out our shorts. We've got one popping off on YouTube right now. It's got 1,000 views almost with me saying that PlayStation has no games. And Bubble Boy is over there skeeting, I believe is what they call it on Blue Sky.
Don't say that.
And anyway,
What am I not seeing on the screen that would
shout
make me
out to
say
the
that?
chat. You guys were great. Shout out to our friends over at all the other podcasts for stopping by. We really do appreciate that. We do. We have a nice friendly chat going on there as well. Make sure to check in, tune in, go follow our Fantasy Critic League. It is available to follow. It is public. I believe it's called Nerd Chat versus XCP versus PS Trophy Room versus Seasoned Gaming Battle Royale. Go follow that. We already have a bunch of games in. We already got some people on the board. Jose, where can people find you?
You find me Chipotle Bear everywhere. Thanks again, everyone, for coming, and thanks for your support. Getting ever closer to 500. I was just thinking this week as I was not feeling well and listening to a lot of podcasts. Man, we just have a great community. Go support Season Gaming. Go support Secret Friends Unite. Go support X Talk, Trophy Room, XCP. Lots of great content out there, and it's a great time to be into video games, man. So if you have friends that were and maybe aren't now, maybe it's a time to bring them back. Otherwise, have a great week, guys. Go play some games.
X Bacon Gaming, where can people find you?
Unfortunately, Twitter is just so much better than Blue Sky right now because of all the salt and the anger and the tears. So you can find me on Twitter, reading mostly, occasionally responding. It's just I don't like supporting Elon and giving him any more money. I wish he'd go out of business and be deported, but it's just not as bad on Blue Sky, so it's just not as fun right now. So I'm on Twitter. And thanks, chat. You guys were awesome today.
Shout out to Todd Oxter in the chat. He said, "Poor Chance is frozen in time." Bubble Boy, where can people find you?
They can find me at home all weekend. Daddy daycaring the ish out of this because Ashley will be in Orlando from tomorrow night till Tuesday night. So wish
Sounds
me
like some iPad time.
yeah.
Unlimited screen
how much
time.
iPad did they get while I was gone? None, honey. They didn't. None.
We were doing all
read
kinds of
6 books, though.
activities.
Yeah.
Guys, I have one more final shout out, and I should have started the show with this. I demand an apology from Ains at Seasoned Gaming. He told me that Hogue from Hogue Law was not coming on to the Fantasy Critic Battle Royale. Mr. Hogue, I am truly sorry that
Mr.
Ains lied to us. He said you weren't coming, and he said that he told you and that you were invited, Hogue. You were welcome to join the Fantasy Critic Battle Royale, but he told me no. He said you didn't want to come, and then he brought on Eric in your place. So please.
We love you, Eric. We're glad
love
you were
you,
there, Eric.
Hogue.
No, Eric, we like you.
Hogue, don't let Ains lie to you. You were invited to take part in these conversations in the Fantasy Critic Battle Royale. And I love Eric, but we all could have been there. So I blame Ains.
I agree.
There's a max of 10 people. We all couldn't have been there. I just want to throw that out.
True.
Well, we
I
would have
almost had to set it
sacrificed
out.
for Hogue. As always, Forza Horizon lovers, see you online.
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 I know you want to race. You're not going to live forever.
I'm not stupid, Lucius. No one lives forever. No one. But with advances in modern science, my high level of income, I mean, it's not crazy to think I can't live to be 245, maybe 300.
The Nerd Chat is an Xbox podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. You can follow the show at the Nerd Chat Podcast across all social media. The show was created by Daniel Walenzik, and you can follow him at Daddy D. Wally. Co-host and producer Jose Martinez III can be found at Chipotle_bear. Former intern, now co-host Jason Jarrett can be found at xbacongamin. And former co-host, now returning intern Chance Siegel can be found at BubbleBoy N7. If you'd like to find out more about the show, please visit nerdchatmedia.com. And as always, see you online.